Now, when you're talking about arms and guns and the police department and these riots and protesting and police encounters with civilians or the public, they have many options. They can use shotguns, they can use guns that have rubber bullets in them that won't kill you. You see, so they can finesse that situation. Even in a lot of the other countries, they don't use guns at all. You see, and so for the American police departments to use lethal weapons, you see, deadly weapons that will kill you, that is a significant situation. And then when most people know to follow the directions of the police officers, you have these individuals that buck the system, get aggressive with the officer, and they get murdered. And then you get people that get aggressive with the police officer and don't get murdered. You see, they have an all-out brawl with the police officer and don't get murdered. But the people that do get murdered, why is that situation happening? Now, God has the answers to everything. Now we're going to jump right on in to Romans 13, and we finna see the most amazingest revelation of today's time in these last days of this system of things. Now 13 says, it's in Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. So you got the police. That's the power in America, the United States. They are the power of God. They are ordained of God. Okay? Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resists the power, resist the ordinance of God. When the police roll up on you and ask you a question, and you start to resist and fight and wrestle and punch and scream and holler, you is resisting the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Okay? And you see, that word is so powerful because the nation that is the target of these people is the whole significant part of the situation. You see, it's the power that is with the police department is one nation, and the other nation that they are policing, if that nation resists that power, they will be damned. But let's go on to verse 3. For rulers are not a terror to the good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good. So if you don't want to be afraid of them, just do good, and you ain't got to worry about it. Keep God's commandments, because that's the standard of good. Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. You keeping God's commandment, they're going to praise you. The police officer going to say, that's a fine work you doing, young man, sir. But you broken the law, and we need to give you a citation. And most likely, if you keeping those commandments, you're not going to be breaking the law. Now, verse 4 is a very significant verse, and it's going to break it all the way down. For he is, this talking about the police now, and this nation that's controlling the police. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. You see, now you got to be looking over your shoulder at the police. For he beareth not the sword in vain. He telling you, he didn't give this man these weapons. He didn't allow this man to be a powerful and an expert, or a powerful expert in carrying weapons and creating weapons. He didn't do this in vain. He did it for a specific purpose, and he's finna read it out to you. It goes on to say, for he is the minister of God, a revenger, to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. See, if you're not doing evil, you're not going to be punished. And guess what? When you resist the ordinance of God, you is doing evil. When you resist the power, you is doing evil. People want to get on TV and say, oh no, they didn't have to kill the man. When you resist the power, you is doing evil. Because this system or program that's being ran, this power is ordained of God, and they're dealing with the ordinances of God, and they're a revenger of God also. You might be breaking one of God's laws, and the avenger come up and execute vengeance that God want to execute on you for doing evil. Because see, he say, these are the avenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Not just the evil by resisting the police, you get shot, but evil as breaking God's commandments. We just seen a guy get shot. He was celebrating his daughter's birthday. Birthdays is abomination to the Lord. The guy who's got shot by the two officers, the officer and his son, getting ready to celebrate his birthday. Abomination. He celebrated every birthday in his life. Abominations. You worshiping yourself in a false god. And you an Israelite on top of that. Abomination. That's why he say in verse 2 of Romans 13, damnation to you. Now, away from the police officer, who is this person and who is these people that beareth the sword? Not, he say, for he beareth not the sword in vain. Who beareth the sword? Is it a bunch of Negro? Is it a bunch of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American bearers and swords legally? Do they have legal weapons? Are they walking around with legal weapons? Most of them that's got weapons is illegal. And if they get caught with them weapons, they going to jail. So it's not illegal for black, Hispanic, and Native American descendants of slaves, native to this land, any of those individuals, it's not legal for them to walk around with a weapon. Even when they proclaim it and say it's we got an arm, right to bear arm, you better not be caught dead outside by that police officer, because that's just a trick by the devil. You see, that's a trick by these people that we finna see who have the right to bear the sword, who have the right to walk down the street. Let's get a picture of that real quick. Okay. Who have the legal right to bear arms? Now, we just go to Genesis and see who has the legal right to bear arms. And who is this person that's not carrying the sword in vain? Let's go to Genesis 25 and starting at 27. Let's start at 25 to get the whole context of this person. And the first one came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So Esau was a red man. He came out red. Now verse 27 say, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. So he knew how to hunt. He knew how to get a weapon and hunt things. He knew how to create weapons to hunt his food. Okay. And in verse 30 it says, Jacob, after he ate the red pottage that Jacob gave him, they start calling his name Edom, meaning red. They start calling him red, because Edom is red in the Hebrew. So they start calling the man red. So when you get to verse 40, when you get to chapter 27 of Genesis, verse 41, no, jump up to verse 40, the 27th chapter of Genesis, verse 40, he told Esau, because Esau was crying because he didn't get the main blessing, and he said, well, bless me too, Father. So Esau said, Isaac said, okay, when you rule the world, I'm gonna let you rule the world too. Jacob ain't gonna just be the one that rule the world and have power over all the nations and rule them with a rod of iron. You gonna rule the world too, Esau. That's why in verse 40 he also say he gonna have the dominion. That means he gonna have the rulership. Then when you get the top beginning of the verse say, and by thy sword shall thou live, meaning by your sword, Esau, you shall live. You're going to be able to live with the sword, walk around with it, and police everybody on the scene. You see? You're going to be able to be the police and legally walk around with weapons on your hips, being the power and putting people in their place, and being my executioner and my avenger to the one that's doing evil. You see, that's what he's saying in other words. Now when you go to Psalms, let's get Psalms real quick, because Psalms is King David, the king, the ruler of Israel, and he let it be known exactly what I'm saying is what the situation is all about. Now in verse Psalms 17:13, he say, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. See, the wicked is the sword of the Lord. The wicked is these Edomites. They are the sword of the Lord. And he had just told Job tell us too in verse 9. In chapter 9 of Job, that these Edomites are the wicked and they have the power on earth. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You see? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's why King David say, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, because they are in rulership right now. And they tell people, and they the punisher of the evil, and they praise the people that do good. That's the power that's on the earth. The earth was given to these people, given to Edomites and the children of Edom. You see, that's what the situation is. So people don't understand what is going on with the world. They looking at the world through the lies of the Edomites, because the Edomites tell a bunch of lies. King David talked about them from verse 51, 50, all the way to verse 60 something. All through the book of Psalms, he talked about the Edomites, because just like he said, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. Because he know the wicked punish those people that's doing evil, but they can't touch you if you're doing good. They gonna praise you for doing good. Now let's get the verse showing you how King David talked about the Edomites in Psalm 52. He say, thou the tongue deviseth mischief, like a sharp razor working deceitfulness. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. So these Edomites love lying. The King David talked about it. He said they love lying. Then, almost at the end of, in the middle of his thoughts about these people, in Psalm 58, he said, the wicked are estranged from the room. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. You see, them sapsuckers speaking lies. As soon as they come out the womb, they lying. Because they just like the daddy. The daddy was a liar. You see, he was a con and hunter. He let you know he was a con man. Esau was a con man from the beginning. He knew how to go out there and con them animals, trick them so good and kill them. He knew how to hunt his prey, trick his prey, have his prey confused. They don't know what the heck going on. Next thing you know, bam, he got them in a trap and they dead. And he got them on the grill eating them. You see, that's what people don't understand about Esau. And so they looking at the police, thinking the police just some average peoples out here. That's just some scheme of the man. That's just some scheme of these men on earth. No, that's an operation ordained of God. That's an ordained thing of God. Now let's go to Revelation and go and wrap it up, because I can't make it too long. Revelation chapter 6. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Chapter 6. Now, we're going to read verse 1 to get who is implementing these red dragons, these Edomites, and giving them these swords and giving them power over us. Chapter 6, verse 1. And he said, I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals. So who opened the seals? The Lamb. And I heard, and it was a noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, come and see. And so the four beasts told him to come and see what was going on. And the Lamb, Yahushua, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, who sit on the right hand of God, and the second man in power of the whole universe and all things, he was allowing this situation to go down and had a hand in it by opening the seals. Now verse 4 let you know the same thing he told Esau, the same blessing about he gonna live by the sword. It's just quoted right here in a different way. And it's verse 4 of chapter 6 of Revelation. And there went out another horse that was red. There go Esau, Edom. And power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they shall kill one another. They did that in World War I, World War II, the Civil War, all kind of different wars that they done did it in, killing each other. Now, he told him the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So this man, the wicked, was given power to take peace from the earth. And the wicked was the red peoples. You see, that's why they say the horse, and horse represent power also. So this power that was red, you see, and that's why he say, whoever resists a power that's ordained of God, because there's no power but of God. Every power is of God. And that's why people are so confused, because they think it's a devil roaming around that ain't being controlled by God. And that's a bold-faced lie. The last sentence in verse 4 of chapter 6, it say, and there was given unto him a great sword. It was given unto Esau a blessing to live by the sword. The earth was given into his hand. He could take peace from the earth because the earth was given into his hand. He was the wicked. He was red. See, that's what precept must be upon precept. But precept is a thought. A precept is a thought. You see? So the thought is, you got to put one thought with another thought, and you're going to come up with a conclusion. You're going to have a puzzle piece, put a puzzle piece with another puzzle piece, and then you're going to be able to see the big picture. You're going to be able to see the big picture after you put all these thoughts together, and they got to be like a puzzle piece connecting to each other. We got the thought of this subject is the sword. Who do these people, the police, why did he bear this sword? It's not in vain that he has this sword. This sword is for have a purpose. The Israelites was already told not to bear the sword. If you live by that sword as an Israelite, you're going to die by that sword as an Israelite. But these Edomites, they was given the blessing of the sword to live by the sword. And so the sword is the thought. So you see how you go take who was given power of the sword? The Edomites. You put that to the next thought of the sword. It was a great sword given to somebody in Revelation. That's the Edomites. The earth, he was the same person who got the great sword could take power from the earth. Job said the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. See, those thoughts, you got to connect those thoughts. And that's how you're going to get an understanding. That's how you're going to get to the truth and the knowledge of God. You got to put these different thoughts together that match each other. But this take us to the end of the conclusion in Revelation 12. Revelation 12 is telling you the war from the beginning to the end. Because in Exodus 17, either Exodus 17:17 or 17:15, it talked about that he would war with the Edomites forever. So when you get to Revelation and you see it's a woman with a crown with 12 stars, that's the woman, the nation of Israel with 12 tribes, and then you see the great red dragon with 10 horns, 10 kingdoms. 10 kingdoms with another top kingdom, Babylon the Great. You see, they fighting against the woman and her 12 stars. This ain't nothing but Jacob and Esau. Jacob is the woman, Esau is the red dragon. Plain and simple. It started in the beginning in the womb of Rebekah, and it is ending the same way. Then you get the punishment of Esau in the next chapter, in chapter 13. He say, he that leadeth, 13 verse 10, Salakia, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You see, the saints is that the Edomites led us into captivity, and we going to lead them into captivity. And that's what Paul knew all about that. Paul never read John. Paul was probably dead before John. John was the last apostle alive. So when Paul wrote in Romans 9:13, 9:12, he said, and it was said to her, the elder shall serve the younger. They knew at the end of the day that they was going to have to, these Edomites were going to have to serve us. So we going to make a comeback and get back on top. And that's why in verse 13 he's saying, it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Because at this point in time in Romans, the Edomites was ruling at this time. But he was letting them know that these Edomites don't have to serve us, man. God love us, and he hate these Edomites. He just using these Edomites as a sword. And that's why he said he going to beat the swords into plowshares. He going to turn these swords, these Edomites, into slaves. They going to be in the field working. But I'm going to leave it right there. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Death to America and death to these red dragons. Shalom.